Conversion optimization is inevitably hotter than ever. Absolutely everyone on Twitter, on LinkedIn, every e-commerce business owner knows that they need to do CRO, landing pages, conversion optimization. And that's great because for the past 9 years, I've been running this optimization agency, SplitBase, and it felt like for the majority of those years, the education, explaining to people what was CRO and why they should do it was the main topic. Now, I think we've gone beyond that. But what that means is we still have a lot of misconceptions out there about CRO, and there's a lot of things that people get wrong, unfortunately. So I just wanted to take 3 minutes to explain what isn't CRO and what is CRO. Also, a side note, I completely hate the acronym CRO. I just say conversion optimization because ultimately, when you're doing optimization, you're not just optimizing for your conversion rate. You might be optimizing for revenue per user, for your profit. You might be optimizing for AOV, right? So without any further delay, let's just dive into the number one misconception and maybe mistake that people are making with CRO. And that one thing is, I think a lot of people think that conversion optimization is really just all about test ideas. Test ideas, everybody can have them, and you will find a lot of these lists in Google where, 250 A/B test ideas, 15 best test ideas, and those test ideas may give you some ideas, but I've gone through those lists. A lot of these ideas, pardon my language, but I think they're pretty trash in the sense that they're not relevant for a lot of businesses. They shouldn't. And a lot of people shouldn't waste any time testing those. And yeah, a lot of them will be irrelevant for your own audience. So that is the mistake, right? Like people think there's all these test ideas they can just look at and then start testing. I would argue that's a bad idea. And you should find test ideas that are relevant to your audience and your business and not what some bloggers posting on Google in order to get SEO juice. The second thing is people think, in the same line as what I just said, that conversion optimization is all about just testing, right? People think, I need to get an A/B testing tool and we need to run some tests and then I'm good and my business will grow. Look at this screenshot from VWO. And look, I love the tool. VW is a great brand, so I don't blame them for this. But you can see how they've got all these logos and it says, Ubisoft got a 31% increase in click-through rate. BCP got 30% more conversions, right? So obviously, it's going to make people think that, hey, if I install VWO, just the fact that having a testing tool installed on my site and using it will increase conversions. It couldn't be any further from the truth, right? That would be like saying, if I get the internet, I will make a lot of money. Well, just plugging in the internet won't make you more money. If you have a business, if you built a business on the internet and you've done the right things and you're running a successful e-commerce store, well, obviously then the internet makes you money, but it's your business and not the internet. And it's the same thing with a testing tool, whether it's VWO, Convert, Optimizely, or any of the other tools, right? Those tools allow you to test, but they're not necessarily going to decide what to test for you. They're not going to run those tests, and they're not going to make those business decisions for you. So testing is only one sliver of the optimization process, especially testing tools. I would also argue that, conversion optimization is not just about winning tests and, hitting a home run and getting a test that produces results. Now, let's get this straight. Of course, we're in the business of making our clients more money. I do conversion optimization. I run A/B tests with the goal of growing our clients' brands and making them more money. But there is a lot of value from a lot of tests that wouldn't classically be called winners. For example, let's say a brand wanted to implement a new feature. Let's say it's a virtual try-on feature for sunglasses, right? That tool might cost them $12,000 a year. Instead of just implementing it, right, well, you can run a test. Let's run a test and let's see if it's going to win or if it's going to lose. Now, in this case, the outcome of a test losing, where the try-on feature won't increase conversion rate, is actually a good thing. Because that means that you just found out that you don't have to spend $12,000 a year for this virtual try-on feature in order to increase your conversions. It actually didn't make any effect, right? So conversion optimization and running tests can be a risk mitigation strategy. It can actually help you save a lot of money and understand what's needed and what's not needed. And ultimately, right, you can also learn from all these tests. So let's say you are testing a lot of different angles. Well, it's good to know which angles won't resonate with your audience as much as it's good to know which angles will resonate. So in order for an optimization program to be successful and to have as much value as possible out of it, you need to be learning from every single test. Now, at the end of the day, I've already mentioned that, but that's kind of my point. Conversion optimization really isn't just about the conversion rate either. It's about whatever you need to optimize in order to grow your business. So now, if you're asking, okay, well, Raph, what's conversion optimization if it's not just all about testing? This is it. This is what I call, and we call it SplitBase, the testing trifecta, but it is also, in my opinion, one of the best ways of visualizing conversion optimization, right? You'll see that what I said, which is testing, a lot of people think testing is optimization. Well, here, testing is only one circle out of 3 that creates the CRO process. And you'll notice even further that testing is supported by analytics and human. That means that take out the analytics and human circle, you've got testing on its own, and it's not supported by anything, which means it's probably a waste of time. What does that mean now? What this means ultimately is a couple of things. So before you actually get to testing, right, you need to understand your analytics, because if you try to test everything, and I think, there's this saying, test everything, it's impossible, right? A lot of people would be wasting a lot of time, a lot of money, and never even see, hints of results. So you want to start with your analytics. You want to start by understanding where can I optimize? What's the 20% of optimization efforts that I can do that will lead to 80% of the results, right? That's your starting point. So through your analytics, you want to understand not only your starting points, but you also want to understand the weaknesses of those starting points. Are there behaviors that people are making that actually leads to more purchases? Are there behaviors that causes the opposite and that causes people to drop off? How are people performing depending on the devices, depending on the traffic sources, right? All those things will help inform you what you need to optimize and what to test. Now, that's the first step. It sounds obvious, but a lot of people still don't use analytics that way and in depth in order to determine what to test. Now, I would argue that it's sometimes even too early to go from analytics straight to testing. And that's why the human side of things is so important as part of the testing trifecta. And this is a part that a lot of agencies, even CRO agencies, don't do because it takes a lot of time, it's a lot of effort. But that's been core to our methodology for the past 9 years. So definitely let's not skip it. What the human side means is at the end of the day, you're going to find all the data and your starting points and your patterns through your analytics. But your customers are human beings and your analytics are numbers, right? So it's hard to know what's going on in someone's head when you're looking at ratios and percentages and metrics and things like that. So instead of going straight to testing, let's start to just better understand the behaviors we're seeing in the analytics. And that means let's do some of the human research. We can do that through customer surveys, right? Surveying existing customers, post-purchase surveys, website polls, chat logs, mining reviews, doing customer interviews, looking at session recording and seeing how people behave, and obviously doing UX studies and just kind of comparing the data points as well with human psychology. All those things combined, right, can then help you solidify and create a hypothesis based on observations from your analytics. And in that moment, I would say then you're well equipped to then start building a testing pipeline, come up with ideas that are relevant to your brand, your situation, because you'll know not only what is stopping you from increasing your sales and growing your brand, and you'll also be able to understand what might be potential solutions. And that's what testing is for. It's to test those potential solutions to a problem you've identified. So that's where A/B testing, multivariate testing, usability testing, and copy testing can all come at play to help you build an experimentation program, or I would say a conversion optimization program that can help you grow your brand. Now, if you have any questions, just reply to this video or just send me a message. I'll be happy to help, or go to splitbase.com to read more on our blog about this, or request a proposal to see how we can help you grow your brand through this process as well.